Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a man dies after a grain elevator collapse in Beeville.
A neighbor says Rudy Farias, who went missing in Houston but was found alive 8 years later, was never missing, but instead living at his mother's home.
And the gunman who killed 23 people in the 2019 fatal Walmart shooting appears in federal court today.
Well, folks, here we are at midweek, and we've got the best chance we've had for significant rainfall in over a month. We've got a surge of tropical moisture rolling in, and showers tonight, but even more tomorrow afternoon when the heating kicks in. I'll have the latest for you coming up in a moment.
And some Victoria Generals are in Louisiana for the All-Star Game. See who made the team in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
Several volunteer fire departments busy around 2 p.m. today with a grass fire in Seadrift. It happened near Baltimore County Road and East Houston Avenue. The fire is under control within minutes, and first responders are keeping an eye on any flare-ups.
And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis, who tells us a little bit of rain is coming soon to us.
Yes, the good news is that the heat is actually going to lower down to about 90 degrees tomorrow, something we haven't seen in a while, over a month. But then we've got this big surge of tropical moisture that started rolling in this afternoon. You can see how it's all coming down from the Gulf of Mexico, rolling up into the coast. Well, tomorrow afternoon with a little bit of heating, that's going to fire off a lot, and we're going to call it widespread showers around the area, so you might even get wet. We might even get an inch of rain out of this, which will be nice. We'll have more on that coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. Neighbors are questioning whether a 25-year-old man found alive in Houston after he was reported missing 8 years ago was really ever missing. KTRK reports neighbors were shocked to find out that Rudolph Rudy Ferris was found because they never knew he was reported missing. 25-year-old Ferris was first reported missing as a 17-year-old back in 2015 while walking the dogs. Another neighbor who wanted to stay anonymous says he's even seen Ferris living at his mother's home for years, claiming he might not have ever been missing in the first place.
A man killed in a grain elevator collapse Tuesday in B County has been identified. Authorities tell KIII 37-year-old Sergio Jason Alvarez is the grain elevator worker whose body was recovered Tuesday night. Ben Mengers and Andres Martinez are the men who were injured in the accident. The collapse in the Tynan area sent 2 people to the hospital with injuries after 2 grain silos ruptured and reportedly collapsed onto 2 18-wheelers and another vehicle. Fort Worth police investigating after a police officer and an arson investigator shot and killed 2 armed men early Wednesday morning. Authorities told KXAS shortly after midnight a Fort Worth police officer and arson investigator were investigating illegal fireworks activity. They were going to a call when they saw a fight. Authorities say when the pair got to the scene, they saw 2 armed men and both officers fired their weapons. One of the men died at the scene. The other was transported to the hospital and died.
Also in Fort Worth, new video has been released in the shooting in downtown Fort Worth where 3 people died. Hundreds scattered when gunshots rang out Monday night shortly before midnight in the Como neighborhood southwest of downtown Fort Worth. Police say unknown males began shooting randomly into the crowd and then left. Now, according to authorities, there were 11 shooting victims and 3 were killed. 8 others are currently recovering. Police say it is too soon to know the motive or how many gunmen were involved. And according to new research, the July 4th holiday has had the most mass shootings than any other day in the calendar year.
According to CNN's analysis, gun violence has been on the rise during the summer months.
For some people, fireworks may be the first thing they associate with July 4th, but there's a continuing trend that links fatal shootings to the holiday.
Everybody was right here, and they was just popping fireworks, like doing burnouts and stuff, and then there was a lot of gunfire that just started ringing out, and then everybody just started running everywhere.
According to CNN's analysis of data from the Gun Violence Archive since 2014, the Independence Day holiday has had the most mass shootings compared to the rest of the year.
This is insanity. This cannot be the society that we are expected to live in.
Both CNN and the GVA consider a mass shooting an incident where 4 or more people are injured or killed, not including the shooter. Over the past few days, heading into this year's July 4th, numerous mass shootings were reported in Philadelphia, Fort Worth, Texas, and Baltimore.
I think, frankly, people are tired of the finger pointing in the politics, and nothing happens, and nothing gets done except we just continue going from tragedy to tragedy.
The July 4th holiday weekends from 2020 through 2022 saw double-digit shootings in a single day. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The findings say the top 10 days with the most mass shootings since 2014, all but New Year's Day, took place in June, July, or August.
A sentencing hearing for the man who fatally shot 23 people at an El Paso Walmart appeared in federal court Wednesday. In February, Patrick Crusius pleaded guilty to 90 charges related to a 2019 incident in which 23 victims were killed. Half of the charges are federal hate crimes. Authorities say the 24-year-old purposely carried out the shooting in order to kill immigrants who were in that area. Authorities say he could face 90 consecutive life sentences.
It's hard. It's very, very hard. I mean, you sit there and you think, man, if you didn't do what you did, I'd have my child, in her right.
The gunman may still get the death penalty if he is convicted on state charges.
Estela de los Santos resigned as board member for District 2 in the Victoria ISD. She started serving as board member in 2004. Santos was not at today's meeting when board members accepted her resignation. She explains she wants to avoid a conflict of interest because a family member is interested in working for the district. The board voted to make an appointment from District 2 to finish de los Santos' term until a new board member is elected next May. The public can also send nominations for an interim District 2 trustee.
And this brings us to your viewer poll. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, will you nominate someone as the interim District 2 trustee, yes or no? Well, we take a look at these results and 17% are saying yes and 83% stand at no. We want to keep on hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10.
Petty Officer 3rd Class Keandrick Page, a Victoria native, serves as a sonar technician with the Hyman G. Rickover, the soon-to-be U.S. Navy's newest ship. Page, a 2018 Victoria East High School graduate, joined the Navy 3 years ago. He said his dad served in the Navy for 28 years. Page said he wanted to follow in his footsteps and, quote, have some great experiences along the way, unquote. Pack the Bus registration underway for children in need of school supplies. You can register to receive supplies online on Faith Family Church's website at myfcc.com/packthebus. Supplies will also be distributed on Saturday, August 5th at the Faith Family location on Mockingbird. For questions about registration, stop by Faith Family Church Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to noon, or contact Stephanie Cadingo at 361-573-2484.
Here are the top headlines in the Port Lavaca wave this week. A fatal vehicle collision in Port O'Connor Saturday left one person dead and another person in serious condition. Calhoun County ISD is offering a new program to have employees receive their teaching certification. And an infant aquatics instructor travels to Port Lavaca to offer life-saving swim lessons for children. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. You can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6. A couple in Houston almost became victims of a cheating spouse scam.
Also ahead, an additional arrest has been made in connection to the deadly kidnapping involving 4 Americans in Mexico.
Fentanyl crisis, unmasking the deadly wave. Join 25 News Now weekend anchor Adam Seibel for a 25 News Now Extra, Thursday, July 13th at 10 p.m. We focus on the alarming rise of the deadly drug fentanyl.
What you know about fentanyl is probably maybe 10% of the reality.
Fentanyl is easy to make and cheap to get, and it has flooded communities across the United States, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Don't miss this eye-opening extra that could save lives.
Arrest in the deadly kidnapping of 4 Americans in Matamoros, Mexico earlier this year. 7 people in connection to the case were arrested. Latavia Washington McGee and Eric Williams survived the kidnapping, while Shaid Woodard and Zindell Brown were killed. The group traveled to Matamoros for Washington McGee to undergo a medical procedure, but were attacked by gunmen who fired into their van, then loaded them into the back of a truck and kidnapped them. The victims were found later in a house near Matamoros.
KPRC reports if you have received a letter in the mail asking for money in exchange for proof that your spouse cheated on you, then the Houston police warns it is probably a scam. A couple in Memorial Villages received a letter from a woman named Gina who claimed to be a private escort. She was asking for a reasonable offer to sell proof of the affair, including photos and videos. Now, the real woman named Gina has now reported identity theft to the authorities, but police say these scams are likely computer/AI generated letters.
After getting off to a rocky start last week, the trip back home for millions of July 4th air travelers expected to be smoother.
Yeah, but the summer travel season isn't expected to cool down, and no matter how ready airlines are for the influx of passengers, no one can control the weather.
Summer travel is booming as millions of Americans skip town for Independence Day getaways.
This July 4th period is record-breaking for the travel industry.
TSA screened more than 2.88 million people last Friday, the most in a single day since the founding of the agency in late 2001. But a meltdown at United Airlines early last week, followed by severe storms across much of the country, led to long delays and thousands of cancellations leading up to and throughout the holiday travel period.
Absolutely horrific.
Leaving many passengers stranded.
Flight got canceled Tuesday, stayed in a hotel. I stood in line for 4 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning to rebook the flight.
And putting airlines to the test.
It was just kind of a catastrophic event. Some airlines were just not able to kind of get on the right foot.
Going's Katie Nastro says travelers flying this week should have better luck.
I think people should just be cautiously optimistic, not only looking forward into the rest of this week if they're traveling home, but as well looking into the rest of the summer.
And if you do have an upcoming trip planned, Nastro says to avoid travel trauma, try to book morning departures, prioritize nonstop flights, and be prepared for crowds.
Always give yourself more time than you need, especially the fact that we are going to be seeing more people traveling and, again, longer lines pretty much everywhere.
Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Cuero Record. Cuero Museum features local artist work, and Miss Cuero Court helps host a benefit for pet adoptions of Cuero. Plus, Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine predicts Cuero will finish as district football champions this year. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. You saw the nice puffy clouds that started building up. They're actually producing some showers around the area today. Tomorrow, we've got the best chance we've had for rain in a month of Sundays. Well, at least a month for sure. So, do you know where your umbrella is? I know I haven't said that in so long. So stay tuned. We'll be talking more about the rain chance for tomorrow coming up after this. Well, good afternoon, everyone. 90 degrees right about now. It feels a little warmer than that, but our high today, even with the clouds, oops, I don't know. It should have popped in there. It was 97, okay? So it was warm, but the clouds are really going to help things out over the next couple of days as we get the best chance for rain that we've seen in quite some time. So it just doesn't want to fire up, but I will fix that. Normally, we're supposed to be about 94 this time of year. Tomorrow, forecast high of 90. Wow, a cooling trend. Well, where's all this activity coming from? It's coming from the Gulf. It's not an organized system, but you know, high pressure's gone away, so low pressure allows that stuff to roll in. And look at this, from maybe Laredo all the way to Lufkin, the coastal areas of Texas will be in the upper 80s and low 90s. They haven't seen that in a while as well. So let's go see what we're talking about. There's the crossroads, and you see the little showers that rolled in earlier in the afternoon. And then you saw another big surge of tropical moisture coming up from the south. Right now, it's already raining down in the Palacios area, and you can see down further south, there's a whole lot of moisture down there also rolling into our area. It's actually kind of splitting up. We're getting one pocket that's going this way, and this other pocket down here, you can see right there, is going to be rolling probably toward Brownsville and up the Rio Grande. We are looking at the best chance for rain, possibly up to an inch in some spots. Don't expect severe weather, hail, or anything like that. This is tropical activity, and we're going to be looking at it most of the day tomorrow. Now, on Friday, there's still a chance for showers, but it'll be decreasing. And I wish I could tell you it was going to go on for a couple of days, but it's not. So what is all this and why is it not? That's the big question. So we are between two mountains right here and right here, okay? So in the middle, you have a valley, the valley of low pressure. That is why this stuff is skirting on up into the Gulf. You can see it right about there. And we're going forward. This is now Thursday. You can see we have a good chance for showers. And on Friday, we still have a chance of showers. But by the time we get to Friday and Saturday, high pressure on the west is going to start spreading back into us. I wish I could tell you that was good news. It's not good news. I'll tell you why. We're going back into another heat wave. Now, this is from July the 13th through the 19th. This is 8 to 12 days out. Because of the bubble that's out over Arizona, parking itself over the southwest, this is another heat wave for all of the southern United States and us, and intense, dangerous heat throughout the El Paso region. So it is the summer of our discontent. Of course, sorry to Mr. Shakespeare, I think I messed that up. But across the Atlantic, we're still on the quiet side. The only thing really exciting is that, and that is what's going to be on top of you tomorrow. I don't know where you left your umbrella last year, but possibly we may need it tomorrow. So look at this, 81 in the morning with showers, and then shower activity around the Port Lavaca area during the day with a high of only 85 degrees. We're looking at Cuero, shower activity as well with a high of 82. I went with 90 here in the city because we're going to have a little bit of sun, but the best chance for rain is Thursday, decreasing Friday. By the time we get to the weekend, back to the hot and humid again. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Karina.
Thanks, Mac. And now let's look at sports with Gina Perez.
Thanks, Karina. Jose Altuve said he's feeling a little better, but we see what the general manager has to say about that coming up after the break. At a Crossroads, a ban on one of horse racing's biggest names is being extended. The company that owns the Kentucky Derby says their 2-year ban on trainer Bob Baffert is being extended through the end of 2024. Baffert's initial prohibition from races at tracks run by Churchill Downs Incorporated was set to end this month, but the company says Baffert has continued to show disregard for rules, regulations, safety, integrity, and fairness of horse racing. Baffert was first suspended after his horse, Medina Spirit, was stripped of a Kentucky Derby title in 9 months after the 2021 victory. The Kentucky Horse Racing Commission confirmed that a lab found the horse had tested positive for an illegal substance after the race. Baffert continues to deny drugging the horse on purpose. A few Victoria Generals are competing in the Texas Collegiate League All-Star Game in Baton Rouge. The lucky 6 athletes that will be making the trip out are Tice Armstrong, catcher Levi Castaneda, a pitcher from Ryan Douglas, KT Geralds, Sam Simons, and Taylor Say. It makes sense that a couple of the pitchers that are making the All-Star team is because the pitching staff have been so good and allowed the second amount of runs in total of 130, with only 96 being earned. The Generals will be taking the field tonight at 7, but before that, there will of course be a home run derby. The Victoria Generals of the Texas Collegiate League had an outstanding week, sweeping the awards, with Drake Kerr being named the TCL Hitter of the Week and Jack Hagan being named the Pitcher of the Week, along with being named the Athlete of the Week as well. Kerr impressed with being .444 batting average, 2 doubles, 7 runs, and he had 5 RBIs, 6 walks, and a .600 on-base percentage. Hagan on the mound delivered a complete game and only allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, and recording 10 strikeouts. The Generals will be hosting an auction for the Alzheimer's Association tomorrow night at Riverside Stadium. They are hosting a Purple Out the Park night, which will feature an auction of jerseys, and 100% of the money raised will be donated to the cause. The Generals will take on the Brazos Valley Bombers at 7:05, and if you attend, you are encouraged to wear purple. The Houston Astros announced that second baseman Jose Altuve will undergo an MRI today. Astros general manager Dana Brown said that Altuve's oblique is not as bad as the one he had earlier in the year, and that he will be reevaluated tomorrow. Brown said Altuve came in today feeling a lot better, but is unsure if Altuve is going to be placed on the IL. The rest of the Stros took on the Colorado Rockies today and go on to win the game by a score of 6-4. Well, that's your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Gino. We're back in a moment. Kansas City residents have found a new way to welcome Taylor Swift there for 2 concerts this week.
Tonight, a giant crop art will welcome Taylor Swift to Kansas City. A farmer donated his 22-acre field to the project, and Rob Stouffer completed it with his own time and money. In total, it took about 12 hours from start to finish. Using GPS technology, the artist's design was converted into a path. Swift's 2 concerts expected to draw over 100,000 people at Arrowhead Stadium. The location of the maze kept secret to protect the farmers' land and crops from being damaged by visitors. And the artist said, if you don't like that maze of Taylor Swift, then just shake it off.
Shake it off.
And he's not saying how much it cost. He said he was given a blank check.
He even knows the song.
He knows the song. You know the songs more than I do, Don. And
Taylor Swift.
I mean, Taylor Swift has some pretty dedicated fans out there.
Oh my
so,
gosh!
I mean, look at
yeah.
that.
Ooh.
Absolutely, that. I mean, 100,000 people. Jeez, that's
Over 2 nights, yeah.
bigger than the Beatles. You know. I mean,
Oh, well, see, we could go
Almost.
back and forth, you know?
Okay.
We could.
Well, the folks up there will have a good time, and of course, afterwards, I guess they'll pick up the corn. I don't know what happened to the crop in the middle. That's what I want to know. Folks, the chances for rain tomorrow are very good. Haven't had a chance like this in over a month because of the heat wave. Enjoy it, because while we get a chance for rain Thursday and Friday, it goes away for the weekend, and next week we're back into the heat again. You know, if I could tell you all of the heat records that are going and falling all over the world, you know, from China to Bulgaria to even in the Mideast, in the Sudan, they're getting record high temperatures. So I'll say what a famous scientist once said, actually it's Bill Nye, says, it's going to get worse.
No.
Oh, well.
Well, we got some rain though, so
Tomorrow's a good day.
we have a good day. It might get better.
Yeah.
That's looking on the bright side of it. All right, thank you, Mac, and thanks for watching.
That's right. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.